And basically, I'm dead set against that happening. So I've done this video, even though if you look at me, if I turn my head upside down, I could join ZZ Top, you know. And it's okay though. And I'm here for you. And to conclude, so if you keep yourself away from going out for a good 3 months, right, then that'd be brilliant. And you'll find at the end of that 3 months, you have stopped being reactionary. It's really important, that. And once you stop being reactionary, even when you're walking amongst hundreds of people, all passing on coded messages, buzzwords, all fueled with their paragraph, their daily paragraph, and you're not even listening. You're certainly not looking in someone's trolley to see what they've got and then having a negative reaction to millions on a bag of crisps. Or if they've affected you financially, which is very highly likely, and you've lost a lot of money because of this, trying to escape this, then they'll try and organise gang stalkers to go to the cheap aisle and to nod all the cheap food. And so basically that's meant to get you as well, but you can laugh, just laugh. They're abysmal people, and they're not allowed to kill you, that you have to kill yourself. And so they're no real danger to you. And once again, the secret society are behind it all. And what are the secret society? Well, they're the Ashkenazi. It's a group of people who call themselves Jews, but they're not. 6% of them are Semitic genetically. The other 94% are from Georgia and southern Italy. They interbred with them when they were kicked out of Spain. And to conclude, they're the #1 paedophile ring out of all the paedophile rings. And they're in control of your paedophile ring, which runs your country, but they play second fiddle to the Ashkenazi, whose paedophile ring binds them all. And the worst of them are called nepedophiliacs, who are worse than paedophiles, because nepedophiliacs go for children as young as 0 to 5 years. And they're behind all the wars and revolutions and concentration camps and holocausts. There's been more than one Holocaust. They would like you to believe there's only been one Holocaust, right? Fuck's sake. There's been 300 years of Holocausts down to that one Ashkenazi tribe. And before them, everybody has had a go at it. Like Genghis Khan had a go at Holocausts. You know, you weren't anybody in those days unless you'd had a Holocaust. But the origin of the word Holocaust, right, is derived from a word which the Ashkenazi made up themselves, which meant putting your child, your own child, into an oven and setting fire to it as a sacrifice to Satan. You couldn't make that up. And so, but what they would tend to do is, they'd rather not kill their own, so they would kidnap a child from the country hosting them, these immigrants, these gypsies, and they would live up to the billing. They'd nick a child and then torture the child until the child was suffering all these sort of stresses and strains which release hormones, that when you drill into the side of their brain and their temples, you can release these as they work as sexual enjoyment drugs to heighten your sexual arousal, you know, and you drink it, and that's what's at the very bottom of the shit pile. Oh, shit code. It's a slick of evil all the way to hell, that these assholes, gang stalkers, want to be higher up. It's not higher up, it's lower down. They're just miserable bastards, the whole lot of them, all the way to hell. And to conclude, these children who were kidnapped were canonised by the then popes because they'd suffered so much before being murdered and then burned, or just left. And they were kicked out of Spain finally for that. And all throughout all their garbage over the years, they've always used the number 6 million, right? 6 million of them had been murdered when there wasn't 6 million alive. They omit that small point, and they also don't count the amount that are still with us. So how can you get rid of 6 million people when you've only got 3.5 million people? If you want to know more about that, watch Erol on America. You cheeky little cunt. So basically, Erol on America exposes how Churchill, Stalin and Hitler were all in the same boat, all behind it. And they just wanted to kill 200 million simpletons or humans. And they did. And they're still in charge. They're behind September the 11th, September even. And they're behind the paedophile rings, which run all the paedophile rings. And politicians, most of them are blackmailed paedophiles. And you can only slide further down into the pecking order if you're at one of these black masses where the objective is to murder a child as a sacrifice to Satan. These people are the scum of the earth, right? And they see this as being hell, and they want to reign in hell, and they're doing the right things to reign in hell. They're not. This is purgatory, where you choose your direction next. Yeah? You choose to ascend to divinity, or to shoot straight down to fucking hell after you sold your bloody soul. And in purgatory you can already see the people who are coming round again for another test, or the ones who are doomed and damned to hell for eternity. And fuck joining that club. So, like I say, gang stalking is a weapon which can hide in plain view. And what I want you to know now is, don't tell anybody, right? Don't tell anyone, right? Just be your own person. You can put on a hidden camera to film what's happening and talk over the top of it. Then upload it to Zionist YouTube, and basically on that just put diary of a gang stalked victim or diary of a targeted individual, and you'll notice there'll be a nosedive, right, in how many times you're gang stalked after that. You shed light on them, the vampires flee. And so gaslighting is when you're being targeted so heinously, right? If you tell anybody who doesn't know any better about this top secret weapon, they'll think you're nuts, right? So if you tell the police are not your friends. Don't tell the fucking pigs, right? And they'll just tell the sociopath work department, and your feet won't touch the bloody ground. You'll be in a section ward with a needle up your arse, right? For real. So keep this to yourself, and only go on forums and Facebook pages of people who are targeted individuals like yourself, and derive comfort from sharing with them what's been happening to you, and you'll be amazed, because what happens to all targeted individuals is the exact same. So like the FBI, this 3-page manual, and you must stick to it or you're not in the club. You know, even though, as I've said, there's different reasons for them to receive these broadcasts from your transmitter chips. Nonetheless, the objective's always the same: self-titillation, and ideally getting you to kill yourself without them touching you. And that can go on, it can go on for years and years and years. And so gaslighting is when you tell someone what's happening and they think you're bloody nuts, right? So don't tell anybody. Don't tell the police, don't tell the sociopath work department, as you'll be branded paranoid schizophrenic and be forced to take antipsychotic drugs, right? Which is enough to send you over the edge if you're already suffering from post-traumatic post-traumatic stress disorder. And they don't care. That'll be the proverbial straw that breaks the camel's back. And behind it all, behind the sociopath work department, 95% of people who work in the social and psychiatric fraternity are psychopaths who get off on telling morally sane human beings that they're insane and need to be force-fed medication till they're just drooling as they stare at the corner of the room in a maximum security prison for the criminally insane. You know, how? Why? Why not just say, oh, you're being gang-stalked? Well, let's find these people. Let's track them down. Let's stalk those fuckers. You know, why not that? That'd be the automatic correct response. Now, as I've said, there's 5% of psychiatrists and those in mental health who are excellent empathic people. Well, as you'll notice with all the others, there's a void of empathy. They're psychopaths, and they've chosen that direction in life to get off on, lording it over other people. And that's what you find with bird-brained societies. There's one at the top shitting over everybody else who's shitting all the way down. It's a shitfall all the way down to those at the bottom. And those who see it that way want to be up, as I've said, which is down, realistically. And so, as well as dominating people, they want to get in a position to dominate even more people. And these remorseless psychopaths take advantage of the fact they don't feel bad afterwards, so they can do whatever they want. It's okay for them. However, it's not. And they're miserable cunts. And they've hollowed out their brain, so the brain doesn't function. They're dysfunctional in key areas of the brain which you need to be functioning in order for you to feel human in your body. Yeah? And the brainstem needs to be connected properly to your body so you have feelings for other people like empathy, sympathy, and sadly that's what sociopaths take advantage of. They take advantage of you feeling sorry for them. They'll peddle that pity play for all it's worth whilst preying on the host. They're a hostile dependent. And even after they're kicked out of country after country, city after city, they'll still do the exact same thing. Prey on the host, right? So you help them and they do some act of evil against you. And so these people get a rush from being evil towards innocent people. They get a sexual rush of dopamine from the front of their brain where they developed white matter instead of grey matter. Grey matter allows you to empathise and basically be human and mature, appreciate things, experience remorse if you've done something wrong by anybody else. You feel guilt and you want to make that right. Whereas these little scumbags, they don't give a fuck. They don't make the link though that everything bad that's happening to them is proportionate to how much evil they're putting out there. No matter how many times or what great length people went to throughout history to carve in stone that when you're bad, bad is returned to you. It's a law. It's a moral law, I discovered. Other people have discovered it and called it karma. However, I discovered it off my own bat, and it's undeniable that when you put out good, you get good back. When you put out bad, slowly yet surely it's returned and wrapped all around you until it's too late, you see. And once you've sold your soul, you're on your own. This is a short life. Eternity awaits you in hell. So, gaslighting. Hold on, to pull my trousers up. You can see me on TED TV, can't you? So, basically, they can a psychiatrist strings together dramatised minutiae, right? That's what all psychopaths are like, dramatising minutiae for a suck of dopamine, whether white matter is instead of grey matter. And that white matter gives them a rush of dopamine, and it triggers the sexual pleasure centre of the brain, the ventral tegmental reward centre. You're welcome. And so basically what happens is they're looking for someone who can't magnify that small a brain, that dope head, that hostile dependent, because you're clearly being good to it and understanding them and walking on eggshells so as not to offend them. Fuck them.